And good Friday afternoon, everyone. I am your host, Clayton Morris. Welcome to Gadgets and Games on your Tech Friday show here on the Strategy Room. We've got a big show lined up for you today. We decided to do a little bit of a theme show on moving from the information age into the mobile age. So we're going to introduce our guests in just a moment. We've got some great guests lined up for you this afternoon. Don't forget, get your emails into us. As always, you can go to strategyroom@foxnews.com. Send us any of your thoughts about the stories we're talking to. Of course, I've posted the complete show notes at my blog, claytonmorris.com. You can check through and read ahead, but don't get too far ahead. Also, we try not to get too geeky here on the show, so get out your strategy, get out your red easy buttons here. We try not to get too geeky, so anytime one of our guests goes a little too nerdy, talks a little too techie, we try to...
That was easy.
We kind of bring him back a little bit. Yeah, and Ross got snagged one time. Without further ado, let me introduce our guest this afternoon. We got some great panelists this afternoon, and wherever this video podcast finds you. Matt Brown is the Business Development Director for Global Media Technologies. He is to my right. Matt, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Clayton.
Ross Rubin, you know him. He's been on the show before. As always, we love having him back. He's a technology analyst from NPD Group. I consider one of the brains of the technology world. Is that all right? Can I call you that?
I'll take that. Thanks, Clayton.
And Tim Twerdahl is the Vice President of Marketing for Roku Incorporated. He joins us via Skype. And hey, Tim, where are you from this afternoon?
I'm calling you from Saratoga, California, at the Roku offices.
Matt is with Global Media Technologies, and we have some video of what you guys do. And as we talk about this sort of moving into the mobile age, I was shocked when someone said to me the other day, and it wasn't you, Ross, was it? We were at an EcoFocus event, and someone said to me, you know, we are now officially moving out of the information age into the mobile age. And you're a company that I think represents a lot of how we're seeing this being on the go constantly, right?
We are. Global Media Technologies, we place cell phone charging stations in public places around the country. So if you're out at the airport, at the mall, at an arena, and your
right.
cell phone's dying, your iPod's dying, your iPhone, you can walk up to one of our stations, plug your phone in, and get a quick charge and be on your way.
So we're looking at some video here from your site, and you just walk up. You've got all different connectors there, right? Is that how it works?
That's right. Yeah, we each one of our stations has 18 tips that correspond to most of the major manufacturers. We try to keep up to date with the tips that people are using, these days, the most popular brands of phones. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, we're going to be switching to the universal charger, so we'll make things simpler on our stations. But it's great if you're out and about and you don't have your plug-in charger, your phone's about to die, you've got important calls to make, and you can just pick, hey, there's my BlackBerry tip, plug in, and you're good to go.
And Ross, you were familiar with these guys, right?
Yes, I've definitely heard of the solution before.
And having media being played right in front of you, so you're getting a free charge, you stand there for a few minutes and you're watching media, right?
Exactly. It's a real popular medium for advertisers because you've got a captive audience from an advertising perspective. People walk up, they're not going to walk away from their cell phones because there's a safety issue or there's a theft issue, exactly.
Right.
And so they can walk up, they plug their phone in, and basically they receive the message of the advertiser while they're waiting for it to charge. And it takes typically anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. You get a 15-minute charge when you plug in, and it depends on if you need half a battery or a full battery.
And power is really one of the big challenges around mobile devices. If you're frustrated that your phone isn't fast enough or can't process things fast enough, a big reason for that is that designers have to keep in mind the battery power.
Right.
And that's one reason, for example, Apple says it won't put multitasking on the iPhone because it consumes too much battery power.
Right, and with all of these people moving into the video realm, we saw this, of course, this week with what Apple did with the Sling Player app. Here, because if we have any business owners, and I'm Clayton Morris on Twitter, you can also send us your emails, any small business owners who are looking to sort of target that niche audience in the technology world, I think this is really important. And Ross, jump in on this too from a consumer standpoint. Because for years it was one place that you would put your advertising. It was a broad audience. You just kind of threw a bunch of stuff at a wall and hope that you were reaching your target audience. But, in this day and age with podcasts and so forth, and having niche advertising, Audible.com perhaps providing their advertising on podcasts because they know people listening to podcasts, they're probably going to want to download an audiobook. So what are you finding? Who would probably want to go after your machine to do a complete wrap around one of your machines?
Sure. We wrap the machines, we brand them. It's from from a metric standpoint, it's a great advertising medium because we can tell exactly how many people have received your message because we have a counter on all of our machines. You know, we're able to monitor it remotely so that we know, you know, it's that shooting with a rifle versus shooting with a shotgun. We do use a shotgun because there's people that walk by and they receive the message as well. But you know, I think that's the added value that we're bringing to advertisers, that we can say, okay, you know, this is exactly how many impressions you got because this is how many people hooked up to our machine.
This is the new frontier, isn't it?
Well, it's funny you should be using analogies of shotguns and frontiers because if you look at TV viewing patterns going back to the 60s or going back to when Gunsmoke and Bonanza were the top-rated shows on television, we're seeing the #1 rated show on TV attract fewer and fewer audience members through the years. So there's certainly more choice out there, I'm sure, as the Roku box develops. We'll be seeing many more choices on that device. And of course, with the Sling player that you mentioned before, that's one of the challenges, that there's really no taking into account how much video consumers would be watching on this, and that might overwhelm AT&T's network.
Now, what about this universal connector for cell phones? Because I got to tell you, it's so annoying. If you get a new cell phone, everyone has their own proprietary hookup, everyone has their own plug-in, everyone has their own power source now. Do you think we're finally nailing down getting to this 2012 target date of actually a universal connector for everything?
Probably for every manufacturer but iPhone, but except for Apple. I'm sure they're going to probably keep their separate connectors. Yeah. But I mean, you think of the waste that has gone on in the last 15 years in the age of cell phones. I mean, you know, I'm like most people. I get a new cell phone once a year, maybe twice a year, depending on how rough I am with it. And if the model changes, I've got a charger that's no good anymore, and I just toss it in the trash. And you know, just mountains and mountains of worthless cell phone chargers. I think now that we come with this universal charger, it's certainly going to make our business a lot easier because we're going to probably have 15 universal remote chargers, and then we'll save some space for Apple because I'm sure they're going to be different. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great thing. I'm surprised it's taken this long for them to kind of realize, hey, what about all this waste that we've got? Maybe, and they don't even really make, I don't think, that much money from the sale of chargers. I mean, they include it with every phone that they sell. So.
Yeah, I mean, how many people are losing charge? I guess people are losing chargers on a regular basis. I've never lost mine, but do you think this is going to be a good move?
Well, mobile phone accessories are actually a pretty big business in the U.S. and abroad. And one way that a manufacturer can take out cost is if there's a universal charger, they don't necessarily need to put it in the box because you probably have one from your old phone or you can get one anywhere.
Yeah. We'll do a little reintroduction here and give out our information here. Matt, tell us about yourself and where we can find you guys on Twitter.
Sure. Matt Brown, I'm Business Development Director with Global Media Technologies, a cell phone charging station company. You can follow us on Twitter at Global Media T, and you can go to our website, www.gmt-us.com.
Great.
I guess it's been about 10 years when cell phones got so small. Do you remember when they just got to be, I think back in the movie Zoolander, he had that tiny little cell phone. And, we saw, and I think that, the usability of that, we got to a point where they weren't usable anymore. So we've seen cell phones grow back to a size, I think, that, and mobile devices to where, the human eye can actually absorb what we're seeing. So I think we're trying to find that happy medium, and I think that's where technology is going.
And Matt Brown, Business Development Director for Global Media Technologies. Tell us again, and we're going to show some video here of the device. And if you want any advertisers, because you guys are a startup and you guys are looking for...
Sure, we're a new company. If this sounds like the type of platform that your company might want to broadcast on, we'd love to talk to you. We are working on placement locations. We're growing our network. Hopefully, in the future, you won't need a battery pack for your phone because there'll be a cell phone charger on every street corner. Yeah, you can. So feel free to get in touch with us. www.gmt-us.com, or you can follow us on Twitter, Global Media T.
Global Media T, and once again, I will post all of this through my Twitter and also on my site. So once again, I'm Clayton Morris. You can follow me on Twitter at Clayton Morris on Twitter. You can also check out my blog, ClaytonMorris.com. And this will be made available as a video podcast on iTunes under the name Gadgets and Games with Clayton Morris. That will be available usually in about a day or so once everything is wrapped up. So thanks again for watching the big show on this Friday. Have a great weekend.